The sponsor of this episode is Chadwell Supply, an OG in the multifamily industry. Chadwell Supply is the largest privately owned maintenance and repair supplier, and they deliver orders the next day from local warehouses across the United States. To find out how Chadwell Supply will make your day better, visit www.chadwellsupply.com/difference.
Who are you handing the microphone of your life to? Who are you handing it to? We all have a microphone, so to speak, metaphoric microphone that is our life. It is our ability to speak into the world or to show up in the world or to forecast into the world who we are as a person and who we want to be as it relates to influencing others. But sometimes we're guilty of handing that microphone off to someone across from us or somebody next to us or somebody behind us, somebody above us. It doesn't matter. We're handing the microphone off to somebody and giving them an outsized influence in our lives by allowing them to speak on our behalf. So now what that means practically is that you've handed the microphone over and now that person is influencing you in a way, giving cause for you to show up in the world in a way that you're not comfortable with. You have a certain way about you where you feel comfortable in your own skin, but when you allow others, when you hand that microphone over, you start to feel uncomfortable in your own skin because you're trying to act and behave and forecast and project into the world based on what you think that person would want you to be or how they would want you to show up. Or I saw this was always interesting to me at a place I formerly worked at. The owner of the organization would come to work dressed very nicely, very professional, incredible presentation as it relates to business attire, pocket square, the whole 9 yards, very impressive. And it was interesting, people that came to work in the organization very shortly thereafter would mimic the behavior of the owner, with right down to the pocket square, right down to the types of jackets. I'm not so sure it was the actual tailor of the jackets or tailor of the clothing, but in some cases it was. But it was reflective of how that person showed up and presented themselves in the world. And what I saw a lot were people who were completely uncomfortable in that. That was just not that's just not the way that they felt comfortable in the world. Now, it's not to suggest there shouldn't be certain standards or expectations when you show up in the world as it relates to clothing or as it relates to the way you speak or it relates to the way you act and behave and things of that nature. But there are times where you do that and you've handed that microphone over and all of a sudden you're acting and behaving in a way that just doesn't come across well. So when I'm having a conversation with you and you're uncomfortable in your own skin, I can tell. The consumer can tell, the team member can tell, the vendor partner can tell, investors can, everybody can tell that you're just not in your space. And that's not a good thing or a bad thing. It just is. And so you've handed a microphone over, you've handed control over, and now you're trying to behave in a way that is not reflective of who you are as a person. So my encouragement to you today, after all of that, is make sure you're showing up in a space where you feel completely comfortable in who you are as a person. It doesn't mean you don't want to be pushed or stretched or things of that nature. But if you are completely out of your element, it's okay. Get out of that element. Get into a space where you do feel comfortable, where you can show up in the world and be a beneficial presence for others, for yourself first and foremost, because that's going to exude through and become influence on other people. And it's okay to do that. Give yourself permission to do that. It's okay. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you again to Chadwell Supply for sponsoring this episode. Chadwell Supply delivers unforgettable service with next day delivery, online and in-person maintenance training, procurement platform, assistance to make your ordering simple. Visit chadwellsupply.com/difference to learn how Chadwell Supply will make your day better.